Hello everyone and welcome to the webinar Onboarding Companies and Publishing Offerings on the DOM Marketplace. We are happy to have you join us as we explore how your business can take advantage of the innovative features of the DOM Marketplace. Before we dive in, let's take a moment to introduce the structure of today's webinar. Here we have the introduction. We are going to see the onboarding process, the layer credentials, how to publish a product, and also we are going to see some question about the certification of your products. Also, the speakers are the following ones. Okay. Please feel free to type your question in the chat box during the session, and we will start with Jesus Ruiz.
Welcome to this webinar on the onboarding of cloud service providers in DOM. DOM is a distributed marketplace of trusted cloud, edge, and artificial intelligence services with a mission. The mission is to be an enabler of the European Union data strategy, which in particular means that DOM wants to facilitate adoption across Europe of cloud, edge, and artificial intelligence service offerings, which comply with the European Union regulation, with European standards, and also with the user expectations in terms of data management, security, portability, or even energy efficiency. DOM also wants to contribute to break down silos between national or sectorial markets across the European Union, which at this moment is very fragmented. But very importantly, DOM also wants to level the playing field and lower barriers to entry, especially for smaller service providers, which in the European Union context are critical for achieving the European Union goals in this area. So in summary, DOM is at the service of cloud, edge, and artificial intelligence service providers, and also at the service of the potential customers of those service providers. At this moment, we have in production, we call the Trusted Catalog, which enables the aggregation of compliance services from providers that abide by the European regulation into an openly accessible and certified catalog. Next year, we will enable procurement and payment facilities that service providers will be able to use to automate their procurement processes and implementation processes if they wish. Now, to be able to publish products and services in the DOM marketplace, three things have to be done. First, the service provider must onboard in DOM, and one or more employees should be nominated or appointed by the company with the specific powers enabling them to act on behalf of the company when interacting with DOM. This is essentially a powers of representation or an electronic mandate. Those powers of representation are implemented with a verifiable credential, which the employees will use to log in into DOM with the help of a European Union Digital Identity Wallet compatible wallet. Second, those employees have to create and publish the products and services, providing all relevant information about the offering. And third, the service provider has to prove that the specific service complies with one or more certifications, so they can be trusted by potential customers looking for compliance services, as I said at the beginning. DOM does not really perform the actual certifications, but we check that certifications are existent and they are true. I now leave the stage to Eric, who will describe the initial onboarding processes.
Thank you for joining us today in this webinar. This is Eric from the DOM project, and I will walk you through the company onboarding process in the DOM marketplace. Now, first, what comes first? Why do we need to onboard the DOM marketplace? The primary objective of the onboarding process is to generate an operating account in the platform. Please put the next slide, Carmina. You need an operating account to publish your offerings in the marketplace. With offerings, I mean your products and services. And it is from your operating account that you will be able to designate account operators. Account operators are the people that will deal with the day-to-day operation of the account. The onboarding process is split into 3 stages. The first one is the gathering and generation of documentation. The second one is the legal verification of the company. And then comes the technical one, which consists in the issuing of the verifiable credential for the person appointed to represent your company before the DOM marketplace. This last stage will be explained by my colleague Oriol later. From the moment you have the verifiable credential for the person you appointed to act on behalf of your company, your DOM marketplace account will be operational and the onboarding process will have finished. Now, let's see how the legal verification process works. First, why do we need a legal verification process? This stage is needed in order to ensure that your company actually exists and that the people designated to represent it vis-a-vis the DOM marketplace ecosystem are vested with the capacity to represent your company in a binding manner. To that end, you are requested to fill in 2 forms, the declaration of honor and the appointment form of the legal entity appointed representative, the so-called LEAR. You must have them signed by the legal representative of your company. The declaration of honor consists in several statements concerning the good standing of your company, and the LEAR appointment form is required to vest somebody within your organization with the legal powers to act on behalf of your entity in the DOM ecosystem. The LEAR of your company is a key role. Depending on what means are used to sign the forms, the process requires additional documentation or not. If you use an eIDAS company qualified digital certificate to sign the document on behalf of your company, then those 2 declarations are all the documentation that you will be requested to submit. eIDAS stands for the European Regulation on Electronic Identification and Trust Services for Electronic Transactions. If you don't have an eIDAS company qualified digital certificate, then you will have to submit additional documentation that allow us to verify several aspects. First, that your company actually exists. Second, that the representative signing the documents is actually a company representative. Third, that your company's tax identification number. And fourth, we will require sworn translations into English of the official documentation described above. Needless to say, the onboarding process takes longer and it is more expensive if your company doesn't have an eIDAS company qualified digital certificate. That's why you are strongly encouraged to get one if you don't have it yet. And by the way, we are digital services companies, aren't we? Once you have all the documentation, you must send it to the email address of the DOM onboarding team. The DOM onboarding team will verify all the information and may ask for clarifications or additional documents or amendments to the documents you submitted. Once all the documentation is good to go, you will receive another email inviting you to sign the contract with the DOM marketplace. When you get it signed by the legal representative of your company, you must send it back to the DOM onboarding team. If everything is correct, you will receive another email confirming that everything is good and move to the next stage of the process, which is the generation of the verifiable credential for your LEAR. And that is explained next by my colleague Oriol, as I already said. Now, let's see how this works in practice. So we put a video now. So if you want to register, you put the register button in the upper right corner in the landing page of the DOM. You will find there the online forms to provide the requested information, along with general information about the description of the process, its purpose, etc. The first form is to provide information about the legal representative of your company. That's the person who will be signing the declarations, okay? The next one is to provide information about your company. Here, you must put official name of the company and the address of incorporation of the company. And then you will have the third form that requests information about the LEAR you want to appoint. Once you have filled the forms, you must press the submit and create documentation button. But here we have filled the forms with the fake data. You see that the information of the legal representative, the ID card number field is optional. The company information, again, remember that you must use the official name of your company as it appears in the commercial registry in your jurisdiction, and the address must be that of the place of incorporation. This is important. So we have the real seat of the company. Okay, and then you have the information about the layer. No, the mobile phone and the ID card fields are optional. No, but you have the name, surname, no, and other information that we need to generate the documentation. When you press the Submit and Generate Document button, you have the forms automatically generated with the information you provided. Here you see them. You can check that everything is okay. Now, the first one is the declaration of honor. You can see all the statements, check the information. You see the box for the signature as well. And then you have the leader appointment form with an explanation of which are the roles and powers granted to the leader. One important thing is that in the leader appointment form, there are two signature boxes. No, one is for the legal representative who is appointing the leader, and the second one is for the leader who will sign this document as well in proof of acceptance of the appointment. If everything is okay, then you can press the blue buttons and generate the PDF versions of the documents. Okay, press them, and here goes the declaration of honor form, no, in the PDF format that you will be able to sign with either of the means that you use for signing documents, no, the AIDAS certificate or with a handwritten signature if you don't have one. And then the leader appointment form as well, that you can verify all the information as well there. And remember that there are two signature boxes. It is important that both the legal representative appointing the leader and the leader sign this form, okay? If you have any question or doubt, you can check detailed explanations that are available at the webpage of the marketplace. Now, you press the Verify and Publish button, and then you select the onboarding option. This drives you to the knowledge base. Here you will find a specific site about the company onboarding process, which provides a very detailed explanation of all the steps of the process and where you can also find the forms, the contract templates, etc. If you have any doubt about the appointment of a leader in your company, you also have a dedicated section where you will find more information about practical considerations that may help you in the process. No? And now with this, we have finished the demonstration of the legal verification and the legal generation of documents of the onboarding process.
I am Oriol. I am a programmer analyst at IN2, and today I'm excited to guide you through the process of obtaining and issuing credentials for a cloud service provider on the DOM platform. In this talk, we'll explore how a leader receives their verifiable credentials, sets up their wallet, and begins leveraging the DOM ecosystem. Let's dive in. Could you please pitch the video? Perfect. Okay, imagine this scenario. You're the leader, the legal entity appointed representative for your organization, and you've received an email from DOM. This email informs you that a credential has been issued for you. But what's next? Let's walk through the process step by step. The first step outlined in the email explains you that you need to have a wallet. Since this is your first visit, you'll need to register. This process is so simple. Open your browser, complete the registration, and they're good to go. We will wait until registration is completed. Okay, and once you're registered, return to the email to claim your verifiable credential. Clicking the button redirects you to the issuer page, where you'll see a clear instructions. Here, a QR code is generated for you to scan with your wallet. With the wallet app open, you scan the QR and a pop-up appears requesting a PIN. But where's the PIN? Back to the email. Retrieve the PIN. That's all. Enter it into the wallet, and voila! You now have your verifiable credentials. This small digital document is your key to interacting with the entire DOM ecosystem of solutions. From this point on, your account is fully operational. You're ready to access essential services such as DOM Marketplace or the accreditation system to create product offerings or to add certifications to your products. But the story doesn't end here. What happens if, as a leader, you need to delegate certain responsibilities to other employees in your organizations? That's covered too. Let's see how it works. As a leader, you can access the issued solution to generate new credentials. We will log in using our verifiable credential, and from the issued dashboard, you will find the button labeled Create New Credential. Clicking it opens a form where you can enter the employee's details and define their permissions. For example, a delegated user might have specific permissions to create, edit, or delete product offerings in the marketplace. However, as a leader, you hold a higher level of access, which allows you to manage credentials and access critical applications like this one. This process illustrates what we call delegation of responsibilities. As a leader, you are entrusted by your organization to generate credentials, and in turn, you delegate specific roles and policies to other team members. Once you complete the form and click Create, the system takes over. It generates the credential and notifies the future owner. This employee will receive an email with a similar process to the one we just followed, registering their wallet, scanning a QR code, entering a PIN code, and claiming their credential. Here's an important feature. As a leader, you also have access to a centralized management screen. From this view, you can monitor all credentials issued within your organization, send reminders, and even manage processes like credential revocation or renewal. While some steps, such as revocation or renewal, are still manual, we are actively working to automate these processes to provide an even smoother experience for the future cloud service providers. In summary, the process we just reviewed not only simplifies access to the DOM ecosystem, but also establishes a solid foundation for efficient and secure verifiable credential management. As a leader, you have the control and flexibility to delegate responsibilities while ensuring that each user only accesses what they need. With these functionalities, we are facilitating the seamless onboarding of cloud service provider into a collaborative, secure, and transparent environment. But this is just the beginning. In the next talk, we join Francisco to dive deeper into how the leader leverages their credentials to create a product offerings in the marketplace. Thank you very much for your attendance.
Now that that Oriol has shown you how it is possible to get your credentials and being able to issue your credentials for your company employees, you are now able to access to the DOM marketplace. This is what you are seeing now is how the DOM marketplace looks like. You can see that you have a landing page, and then here is where all the offers are published, so they can be searched, they can be discovered by different filters, categories, etc. Okay. So as I was mentioning, now that you have your credential, you are able to access to the system. To do that, you can just click on the login, and in a similar way as you have done with the issuer, you can scan this QR code, provide the credential using your wallet, send your credential, as we are seeing right now, and access to the system user using the credentials in the similar way as you have done to the issuer. Once you have signed in, then you have this new navigation form available. And the first thing that we are going to see is how to complete the organization profile. This is the organization profile. You need to have the onboarding role in order to be able to access to this section and populate this information. And well, basically here you can provide your website. You can add some description information in Markdown, so you can properly style the information of your company. You can provide some logo for your organization. And then you can add your contact information. You can provide three different things. You can add the email, you can add some kind of postal address, and you can also add some telephone number in case you want. This profile is something that is going to be attached to all the product and all the offers that you upload to the system. And well, this information will be public to the potential customers. So this is your own organization profile. Once you have filled your organization profile, you are able to create your offers. So to do that, you can access to this section, the one called My Offerings, and here is where you can create all the different entities that you need in order to create in order to publish your offerings. So the first thing that you will need to create is a catalog. The catalog will be used by potential customers in order to filter just those offers that belongs to you. Creating a catalog is quite straightforward. You only need to provide a name for your catalog and then some description. Again, this is supporting Markdown in case you want to add some proper description. And then here you have what are called the specifications, where we have service specification and resource specification, and then our product specification. I'm going to stop here for a while because I will want to give you some explanation about this. Service specification and resource specifications are used in order to define the services that you are going to offer. The resources specifications are those physical or digital resources that you need to create your services. For example, if we are talking about computing services, probably you will need to register resources about RAM memory, cores, storage, etc. While the service specifications are the types of services that you are going to offer that requires this resource specification. For example, the computing service would be a service specification. These two objects are in practice used in order to be able to properly activate the services. When this is acquired, you are going to be notified. So with this service specification and this resource specification, you are able to activate, to instantiate all the resources and services you need in order to provide the proper service. Here for services and resources, you can see that basically we have a name, we have a description, and then we have a set of characteristics, which can be basically any information that is relevant for you in order to characterize the services and the resources. There are different types of characteristics that you can provide, numbers, strings, etc. And with the kind of the services is exactly the same. You have to provide name, you have to provide a description, and then you have your characteristics. Okay. Once we have these services and these resources created, what we are going to do now is to register our product specification. And here is where we are going to put all the information from our product. So initially, we have to provide some general information. We have to provide a name. We have to provide a brand and a description. Something quite important here is that this description is the long description that is later shown on the catalog page for this product, okay? Again, this is also Markdown, so you can properly render the information that you are putting here. Well, it is possible to create bundles of products. And now we are going to fill our compliance profile. Here in the compliance profile is where you are going to specify which certifications your services actually have and being able to upload the PDF of the certification itself. In this case, we are creating this ISO. You can see that we are uploading this certificate and we are providing this in our compliance profile. The next step is to creating the characteristics. In the characteristics is where you are going to define all the possible configuration options that your customers are able to select when they are creating, when they are acquiring your products. In this case, this is a computing product. So first of all, we are going to register the possibility of selecting the number of cores for a virtual machine. Well, we have to specify a set of different numbers, but it is also possible to specify a number, range, or a string. Then, well, it is also possible to configure the RAM memory. As you can see, we are providing different values for the RAM memory. And finally, it is also possible to configure the storage, the different volumes that are going to be allocated here. Okay, here we have also different values, 20, 50, and 100. Okay, so those are the options that can be selected by the potential customers. Then we have to select our service, our resources, the one that made our product. Then we can add some image, some logo here. That is the one that is going to be displayed in the catalog. And with this, our product specification is complete. Okay, Now that our product specification is ready, the last step is providing the business-related information, the pricing model, the terms and conditions, etc. And this is done by creating a product offer. Again, we are going to provide a name, and we are going to provide some Markdown description. In this case, this description is the short description, is the one that is shown in the different cards and also on the top on the details of the detail page of the offer. It is also possible to create bundles, and then we are just going to select our product, the catalog where we are going to publish, and the different categories that can be used in order to filter this product offer. The next step, we are going to provide the terms and conditions. These terms and conditions will be needed to be accepted by the customers when buying this, and now we go to the most important step of the product offer, which is the creation of the different pricing models. Here we can add multiple price plans. You can see that when you try to create a new price plan, by default, they only have the name and the description. This is because there are two ways of dealing with the price plans. By default, this is an offline price plan, which means that DOM is not dealing directly with the billing and the invoicing, but instead it is expected that you are going to deal with it. But if you want DOM to deal with this, you can always check this option. Is this price DOM manage? And if you choose this option, now you have the possibility to add different price components and different configuration options. And this is what we are going to do now. We are going to create a small price plan. We are adding some description for the price plan, which is also in Markdown, and we are selecting the currency. Now, there are a lot of different options in order to create the price component, and we are going to try to keep it simple for the sake of this example. But just to let you know that you can add, you can bind the different price component of your price model to the values of the characteristics. That's it, the options that can be selected. Or you can directly bind the configuration options directly to the price plan, which is the configuration of a profile. And this is what we are going to do. This small plan is going to be applied only for this profile, which is the small one. 2 cores, 4 GB of RAM, 20 GB of storage. Once we have selected the configuration options, you can see that now there is not the possibility to selecting the options here because has been selected at plan level. We are able to provide one or multiple price components. In this case, we are just providing one, which is just 20 euros to be paid every month. Okay, so now we can create another price plan. In this case, we are creating a medium plan for other options. So again, this is something that is DOM managed. We can provide the currency, we can provide the new profile, and we can provide the new price component, which in this case is a recurring payment of 40 euros per month. And we can finally create a large plan with the remaining configuration, which is the last one. Okay, so again, we select our currency, we select our profile. And the only difference that we have in this plan is that we are also adding a discount. In this case, we are adding a discount of 10 euros during the first 6 months of the contract. Now that we have everything, we have our pricing completed. And the last step is used for configuring the replication policy. The replication policy is used, you need to take into account that DOM is a federated ecosystem. So there is not just the DOM marketplace. The different providers can have their federated marketplaces here. In the replication policies, where you are going to define in which of federated marketplaces you want your offer to be replicated. So basically, in what marketplaces you want your offer to be displayed. You can filter by state, you can filter by marketplace directly, you can add exceptions, etc. Well, with everything ready, we are able to create our offer, and now our offer is created. The last step, once our product specification and our offer has been created, is to launch them. They are now in draft state. Let's say the status active is a draft. So now if we want our offers to be able to be discovered in the catalog, we need to launch it. And this is quite straightforward. You have to go to the product specification. And then you have to launch the product specification, just changing this lifecycle status. And then you have to do the same for the product offer. Okay, And with that, your product offer is actually published. So if you go now to the search sections, you can, for example, go to the catalogs. We can see the catalog that we have previously created. And if we filter for the catalog of this provider, we see the offer that we have just created. Here we have the source description. Here we have the profile of the organization that we have previously created. Then we have the long description, the one that we have provided with the product. We have the compliance profile, where the certification that we have uploaded is. Important here, you can see that the status of the certification at this stage is in validation, okay? And well, here we have the pricing, the characteristics to be configured, and the terms and conditions that we have previously created. In addition to this, we can see that our compliance level at this stage is level 1. That means that, yes, we have uploaded a certificate and we have created our compliance profile, but nothing has been verified yet. So our compliance is level 1. If we want to change this, we will need to go to the certification tool, but in this case, you can go directly to the product specification. And if you go to the compliance profile section, you will see all the information. You can play with this. You see that this is not verified. In case this would be verified, the check would be green. And from here, you have a direct link in case you want to go directly to the certification tool, which is this one here. Of course, you can always go directly to the certification.
So, good morning, everyone. I'm Juncal Alonso, a researcher and project manager working at Tecnaria Research Center. And in DOME, I work on the certification of cloud and edge services topic in collaboration with other partners such as DECRA. And today we will present how DOME is supporting the compliance of certifications in the marketplace. So, certification layer in DOME aims at ensuring the trustworthiness of services in the marketplace. And therefore, the primary objective of this certification layer is to ensure compliance with reference standards in Europe and to certify that the provided evidences, the actual certificates that are uploaded in the marketplace, are valid. In a nutshell, this picture, the one that you can see right now, represents the different steps of the certification process in DOME. I will explain them step by step, and then we will see a demo of how this process is supported in the marketplace by Noelia from DECRA. So, the first step, initialization, enables the marketplace operator to select the certifications that can be supported, or in other words, validated, and also to state if they need to be mandatory or not. In order to establish trust in the services provided by cloud suppliers within the DOME marketplace, these services must adhere to the European Cloud Rulebook specifications, which is expected to include regulations, codes of conduct, standards, and certification schemes. Of course, I want to stress that the design allows to incorporate certifications or frameworks that may appear in the future, like the upcoming ones, for example, on artificial intelligence. Currently, DOME is able to support the validation of a set of the certificates of the European Cloud Rulebook, focusing on the most common ones, like ISO 27001 and the like. This will be enlarged in the next versions as the European Cloud Rulebook will evolve too. Nowadays, in DOME Marketplace, we have no mandatory certifications in order to ease the endorsements of new services. Of course, the validation of the certifications provides a competitive advantage and helps the CSP to position their products in DOME within the European Trust Framework and the corresponding certifications there. But this can be changed in the future based on upcoming decisions from the European Commission or their requirements in the rulebook. Let's move then to the second step, certification accreditation. Once the DOME operator sets the rules of the certificates that can be provided and assessed, the CSP that wants to be part of the marketplace provides the certificates, uploading the corresponding evidences, signed or not signed PDF files, in the compliance profile, as has been shown in previous presentations by Fran. Depending on the type of the provided evidence, different methods need to be applied to validate them. When the evidence provided is a signed or unsigned PDF, which is currently the case, the authenticity will be assessed by the DOM Trust Service Provider for Certification, which is TECRA. Therefore, DOM validates these evidences in form of PDFs and generates corresponding trusted digital evidences in form of verified credentials of the certificates. Based on the provided evidences, the status of the certifications in the compliance profile will be updated, as it will be shown by Francisco afterwards. In the future, the certification agencies will issue verified credentials of the certifications, hopefully. In this case, DOM will automatically verify the authenticity of these digital certifications, in this case, the verified credentials for certifications, and the compliance profile will be updated accordingly. In the third step, certification assessment, DOM assesses the validity of the certificates in PDFs, and if valid, generates the related verified credentials for the CSP to be stored in the wallet as we have anticipated. The validation is done through the assessment of specific controls, doing the analysis of the content in natural language, assessing the validity of the signature of the PDF if available, or the certification agency which issued it. The certification assessment activity will be done in a continuous basis process, monitoring the expiration dates and generating alerts for this when the certification is about to expire. To conclude, in the fourth and the last step, the service is qualified in the DOM marketplace based on the valid certificates and the evidences provided. Once the product receives the validation and updates the compliance profile with the provided verified credentials for certification, it will be visible in the marketplace pages, including the new certification profile achieved through the validation. Currently, there are 3 compliance levels based on the types of evidences provided for the supported certifications: DOM level 1, 2, and 3, similar to the compliant approach from modern initiatives such as GaiaX that you might know. Now you will see a demo on how this validation process for the certification is supported in DOM. So Noelia, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Juncal. So hello, everyone. My name is Noelia Guerra, and I'm Security Test Solution Manager at DECRA. In this section, I will walk you through the certification component that allows to validate the authenticity of the certificates uploaded to DOM Marketplace and assign a compliance level. This component is not yet in production. It will be released in the next weeks. Currently, this component is independent from the marketplace, but it will be also integrated in the future, and the full process will be automatic. Meanwhile, the process is manual but straightforward. To start the process, the cloud service provider accesses the certification component by clicking on the link inside the compliant profile section of the product specification, as Francisco has previously mentioned. Once inside the component, they simply need to log in using their VR credentials, just as they do on the DOM marketplace. Once logged in, the user can start the process, clicking on New Request and filling the required details on the form. First, the product information is requested, including the product name, the version, and also the unique identifier of the product. Then the organization details is required, such as the name of the company, the full address, the country, the VAT number, and also the website URL. And the last field is the email contact. That is very important because during the process, any update in the process will be sent to the email contact through email. So, and then the last part is to upload the certificate and click on submit. So the user can also check the status of all pending processes at any time in the dashboard tab, but any updates, as I said, regarding the process is also notified via email. Once the validity of the certificates is verified, a notification email will be sent to the provided contact email indicating that the certificate has been validated and the compliant profile has been updated on the DOM marketplace. So now Francisco is going to explain how the compliance level profile is updated on the DOM marketplace.
Okay, so after this process has been performed, the product in the marketplace is updated. Verified credential is attached to it, specifying which certificates of the product has actually been validated. So if we go back here, when we have seen our service before, we can see that now the compliance level is level 2. So if we open the product offer and we see this level 2 and we go to the compliance profile, we see that now our certificate has changed its status to DOM verified. Okay, so now our level is level 2 because we have some of the compliance profile ready. If all of them were verified, the level would be level 1. Okay, so level 3, sorry.
We've now reached the conclusion of the webinar. Next slide, please. Thank you. So first, we have seen the marketplace onboarding process in which we need to complete some required forms. Those forms are going to generate some PDF that need to be also reviewed and signed. And then the PDF will be submitted via email, and the onboarding team will be able to validate all the information, and if everything is okay, they are going to generate verifiable credentials for the year. Also, next, please. Also, we have seen how the leader of the company will receive the verifiable credentials via email. He will be able to set up his or her wallet account and add the new credentials into this wallet. Also, this wallet will be allow him to manage the different credentials they might have available. And finally, if he needs delegation to delegate some functions to employees, he will have available issuing portal in which new verifiable credentials can be created for his employees. Next. Regarding the marketplace operation, Francisco showed us how it is possible to set up the information of your organization and also publish some product offering. And finally, Noelia, next please. Noelia has shown us how to upload and what is the verification process to include certifications, product certifications that allow us to complete the profile of your product. So now at this point, we are reaching the Q&A section. So if you haven't submitted your question yet, please feel free to type them into the chat. Okay,
see one question, Juan Francisco, regarding the certification, the compliance process. Yeah, Ross is asking if ISO 27001 is mandatory, and the answer is no. It's not mandatory right now. As I explained, none of the certifications that are supported in the DOM marketplace and can be validated are right now mandatory. But of course, providing your certifications and validating your certifications will have an impact on your positioning on the marketplace in order to ensure to your clients that the services are compliant towards certain certification. So the answer is no. Right now it's not mandatory, but of course this can change in the future.
Okay, thank you. Another question is which are the concrete certifications that can or need to be provided to the compliance profile?
Yeah, so right now we are supporting a set of 6 certifications included in the European Cloud Rulebook. The European Cloud Rulebook is a framework that is comprising several certification schemes, and other let's say type of attestation schemas. Right now, in the knowledge base information in the guidelines, you can see exactly which are the 6 ISOs. These are the let's say the common ones that are supporting right now by the validation of the certification service of the marketplace. And you can see there also in the guidelines of the certification process which are the other certifications that we will be targeting in the future, which are the ones that are included in the European Cloud Rulebook.
Okay, thank you. Okay, another question. What is the legal basis of DON issuing LIAR verifiable credentials? So perhaps Eric?
I may, maybe Eric or myself. Eric?
Go ahead, Jesus.
Okay, I start and then you continue, okay, because of the technical legalities. It's according to EFSI, no, it's similar to EFSI, but not according to EFSI because we use a specific date, but it's exactly this. This is a mandate, okay? So this is the equivalent of, for example, on a normal, let's say, onboarding process, instead of having a paper which you have written by the legal representative and then write in there. I mean, LIAR, by the way, the LIAR credential, for the people who know about the onboarding process in the funding portal of the European Commission for funded projects, you would recognize the same name. So the concept is the same. Essentially, the verifiable credential replaces the forms that are there. So in order to prove that the company is appointing with some powers to this employee, the legal representative has to create a legal document and then digitally sign. The legal document, instead of being in natural language with a PDF, is a verifiable credential which has embedded the powers of representation. The powers of representation that we are using, if you dig into the technical documentation, is based on an ontology that was developed by a project in the European Commission, by the way, for developing an ontology for powers of representation. The objective of that European project was the powers of representation for the public administration, so the citizens and businesses could enter on behalf of to perform any service or to execute any service from the public administrations in Europe. It was stopped because this is a very complex project, or a very complex problem. What we have done here is adapted the ontology to solve the problem of the, let's say, private sector, or this specific use case where in DOM we have specified a list of, let's say, powers, capabilities that an employee can do or cannot do, okay? Like, for example, onboarding, like, for example, creating a product, publishing a product, deleting a product, and then there is going to be more in production later. And then this list of powers is represented in the verifiable credential. Now, this is digitally signed by the legal representative and by the legal representative or a third party, okay? But in the ideal way, the legal representative using an eIDAS digital certificate issued by a qualified trust service provider on the trust framework of the European Union, the eIDAS trust framework, then are digitally signing a document using a signature which is recognized by the legal framework of the European Union. In concrete, instead of using PADES, which is used for the PDF, is using JADES, okay, or JADES for JSON documents, okay? So that means that it has the same legal value as any other document which is digitally signed with an eIDAS certificate. And this document in concrete has inside the list of powers that this employee will have as capability to enter into DOM. Okay, so I don't know, Eric, can you complement this?
Yes, yeah, of course. Thank you, Cruz. From the legal perspective, the answer is simple. No? What we want to provide is a trustful catalog, no? And for that, for the customers, and for that, we need them to ensure that the people who is acting on behalf of the cloud service providers that are publishing their offerings there are legally enabled to do that on behalf of their company. So that's why we're requesting to all this onboarding process. And the verifiable credential is the technical means that we have decided to implement the identification of the people that has been appointed to act on behalf of the cloud service provider. This is it.
Okay, and let me add something, because I didn't read the question from Ross, which is very interesting. The last part, is it according to FC? Okay, more or less I already explained. This is an evolution of FC. I would say more advanced. Okay, and what if organization issues its own layer? That's a very good point, because right now we are not doing this because you may know that the digital certificates are not as well, let's say, generalized as a mechanism for digital signatures in the European Union in all the countries. Okay, for example, in Spain, it's almost, I mean, for companies, okay, everyone has this. So what we have done this right now is implemented a process which is sort of manual for the generation, but we are going to publish everything, and then this is open. And in the next, let's say, weeks, okay, we are going to put a portal. So if you are a company, you can generate your verifiable credential. If it is according to the data model and the powers, any legal representative of any company in the European Union, if the legal representative has a digital certificate of eIDAS, okay, they can generate their own credentials in the same way that they can just create a PDF, put in everything there, the legal text, and then just digitally sign the PDF, and then the PDF, if it is signed with an eIDAS certificate, is valid and should be accepted across the European Union. We accept we accept any verifiable credential which complies with this standard. So anybody with a digital certificate can generate this. Now, having said that, in order to generate a PDF, you have programs like Acrobat Reader, or you have Foxit, or whatever. In order to digitally sign with an eIDAS certificate, either with an advanced or qualified signature, a verifiable credential, you may not have all these programs. So we are providing these tools so it can be self-service. Okay, that's the term. Anyone will be able to do this on a self-service basis, just using an eIDAS certificate from any qualified trust service provider in the European Union that they choose. The same certificate that they use to digitally sign PDFs can be used to digitally sign the verifiable credential. Okay. Did FC also has support for legal persons? Oh, yeah, no, this is already supported. Yes, of course. I mean, we support legal person. We support anything that is supported right now with PDFs. Point. Okay. And we have to have a talk about did FC. Okay. Because in our approach, the only critical difference to me is that the EFSI uses an identifier which is generated and stored in EFSI. Okay, in our case, we are decentralized. The unique identifier of a company that signs a verifiable credential with a certificate, an eIDAS certificate, is the unique identifier which is inside the certificate, which is already existing, and is the identifier which, by the way, in some countries is the VAT, in some countries, or in some cases of companies, is the legal entity identifier from Glade Foundation. In some other companies, for example, a payment service providers, is the PSD identifier. In some other companies, for example, very typical in the Netherlands and some countries, is a national trade register. So we support anything which identifies uniquely the company in the European Union, because it's a unique identifier inside the eIDAS certificate. This is the identifier that we use, because this is the identifier, but basically that you are going to use in the digital signature of a PDF or whatever, or even an invoice. Okay, so when you are able to digitally sign any transaction in the European Union, exactly the same certificate with the unique identifier which is inside the digital certificate, the eIDAS certificate, is the identifier that we use. So we don't generate identifiers. We use the identifiers that every company that has the capability to sign in the European Union already has the unique identifier that we need. So no intermediaries, no nothing. It's decentralized in the sense that you can choose any of the 240 entities in the European Union which are regulated and provide the digital certificates. And the thing here is, if you can sign, you already have a unique identifier that is the one that we use in DOM. We don't invent or create identifiers. And then again, for GaiaX, GaiaX has, sorry that I'm advanced, from Edwin, okay? Also a very good question, okay? Is how does the onboarding process of DOM relate to the onboarding process that a service provider does at GaiaX Digital Clearinghouse? And the clearinghouse only delivers the GaiaX level shown in your slides, or is there more for saying? So our onboarding process complies with all the legal requirements for even high, okay? Well, no, medium, I would say, okay? Because we are using digital signatures, eIDAS, the European Trust Framework for digital signatures in the European Union. In DOM, we don't support, for example, something that GaiaX has to support, a Chinese company providing something for a logistic company of a German company or whatever, okay? So DOM, at this moment, okay, is the instrument, as I said at the beginning, is the instrument of the European Commission or the European Union, one of the instruments, okay, helping in the European data sovereignty strategy. So in DOM, we can accept any company that essentially can have a digital an eIDAS certificate. We can accept any foreign company if they are established in the European Union and they follow the European Union rules. Okay, that's something that people can say this is a limitation, but in reality, remember that our mission is to promote the uptaking of cloud and edge services by cloud service providers that comply and abide with the European regulation. So this is just a subset of the companies that GaiaX has to support. So GaiaX has to support, let's say, a different type of onboarding process if they want to support other companies which are in other countries, okay? At the end, with trade corridors and so on, they are very similar, and we are already with GaiaX in conversations to agree on a common model, okay, because fragmentation is very bad here. So we have to agree, we are agreeing on a common data model first for certifications, because the certifications that we have in DOM are not exactly like GaiaX, but right now the GaiaX level 2, let's say, that didn't exist until now, are exactly what we need in the European Commission or in the European Union. So we are already actively making let's say, the convergence of this, the certification of services, okay, for compliance, but also for onboarding for European Union companies, dealing with European Union companies. Well, European Union companies, no, European Union companies that abide to European Union regulation and they are complying with all the laws here, then using the European Union Trust Framework, which is the eIDAS framework. And by the way, everything that you saw here is compatible already with what we know at this moment of the European Union Digital Identity Wallet. So we are advancing on this because we don't handle natural persons' identities. We handle the identities of employees acting on behalf of companies. And this can be done today with eIDAS, but we are doing this with the wallet and the future, let's say, and with the protocols of the future. We are compatible with the specifications of the architectural reference framework of the European Union Digital Identity Wallet that everybody should know, okay, in this space of digital services, that it is going to be obligatory to accept for public administrations in all of the European Union, and then for many, many companies like healthcare, banking, and so on, even by the big providers like Google and Amazon, and also but by digital service platforms like us and cloud service providers. So we are advancing this compliance. We are ready for the future. We are ready to evolve this as the let's say, technology specifications evolve. So we are already being aligned, fully aligned with the future digital identity of the European Union. We're going anything which is needed to be fully compatible as we travel along with all the other companies in the European Union.
And then the last question from Ross is about data spaces. Organization working in data spaces can use DOM to publish and contract data, and consumers can make use of similar wallets with verifiable credentials to access data to the data.
Okay, let me get this because Ross, we have to talk, okay? Because this is very interesting. Yeah. We are fully aligned now. Being fully aligned doesn't mean that this works automatically, okay? But this we don't want to do anything alone. We are at the service of the European Union, let's say, economy, okay? Now, if DOM supports EPSI guidelines, yes, we have been actually we provide a wallet only because the market of wallets is not mature. But we don't want to provide a wallet. The wallet that you saw, okay, is provided by one of the companies in DOM. But we provide the wallet just so you can, if you are not in this world, okay, you don't care. You are a CSP, you are a small one, you are in Italy providing some services, and you are not in this feature, okay. So you can use our wallet as any other mobile application, okay. That's it. But we will, and we have declared, and there are some presentations, not here, okay, where any compatible wallet, like the one from EPSI, but then between quotes, can be used. You don't have to use the wallet that we provide. We will support the any wallet. Why? Because we support the verifiable, the OpenID for verifiable presentations, the OpenID for verifiable credential issuance. Then we support the verifiable credentials thing. We don't support right now proximity protocols, for example, for the wallet. But you mentioned EPSI, and yes, we are aligned with EPSI as long as EPSI is aligned with the European Union Digital Identity Wallet. Okay, so we have to handle both things, but I think that everybody right now is aligning to the European Union Digital Identity Wallet and the IRAS2 together with EPSI. But yes, in principle, it could be possible. Not today, I'm sure, because, you know, one thing is to be aligned, another thing is to implement some common standards, and then when you put several things developed independently, okay, and this is what EPSI has tried to do with the conformance wallets. By the way, the wallet in DOM is conformance with EPSI, so we use EPSI, but we are not using exactly the EPSI protocol because lately in the architecture reference framework and in the OpenID there are some developments, so we are implementing more the European Union Identity Wallet than what is, let's say, in semi-production in EPSI. But yes, we want to support EPSI. By the way, we didn't say this here, but anything that you saw is based on a blockchain, which is not EPSI, because EPSI is not in production, it's in a blockchain that we call EPSI compatible blockchain, because we are using trusted lists and so on. If you know about this, we are using trusted issuers list, trusted participant list, which is not an EPSI, but we need that, okay? Then trusted schemas and so on, and then we are doing this on top of one blockchain right now. In the future, for example, Slovenia has a national blockchain and is going to be federated with the other blockchain, but anything that we do is EPSI compatible. We declare from the beginning that we are supporters of EPSI. We need EPSI for the trust framework for pan-European things, and the marketplace is based on something that as soon as, let's say, EPSI or Europeum, okay, the instrument, Europeum EDIC, is in production, we will request to be able to use this blockchain for anything in DOM. Because the replication engine and the trust framework is based on a blockchain, and for us, EPSI would be fantastic.
So thank you very much. Thank you all for joining us today for the webinar. If you have any further question or need assistance, please don't hesitate to reach out to us. And remember, it is very important that now you go to the DOM marketplace and register your company. That's something that you are going to get many advantages of using the advantages that DOM offers. So thank you very much. See you in another webinar.
Sorry, just 1 second. Ross has more questions. Well, one is my contact. Okay, I don't know if I can get, but you can write this. Is Jesus spelled like it sounds? Okay, Jesus@alastria.com, but .io. Okay, in any case, we will get your contacts, okay? The final question is, a pre-production site for trialing DOM. Well, we have sandbox and then pre-production, and then for external users, that's not the intention, but we were thinking about this. If you think this is something interesting, we can talk about this, okay?
Thank you.
But Ross, we will get. I will get you my contact, okay? Because we have to work together in the UD wallet. This is important for Europe. Okay.
Remember to register to the DOM marketplace, and see you in another webinar. Thank you very much.